everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of Captain Ducky's World Family. This is my cousin Richard. He keeps a lot of our documents of our stuff. Before we go any further, please subscribe, hit that notification, and give me a big thumbs up. Richard, you were telling me today about 1935 or 35 years worth of people coming, correct? We have documentation of this.
Mm-hmm. From 1935 through 42 and 1946.
Oh, that's wonderful. And who kept the documentation?
Reinhard Gustav Coin.
And he was whose child?
The youngest son of Andreas Ludwig Ferdinand Coin.
So my line. I come from the Ferdinand line. It's a wonderful line. Oh, that's pretty awesome.
I come from the Wilhelm Coin.
And Ferdinand was the middle brother, correct?
Youngest.
He was the youngest.
There were 4 boys.
Yes, 4. Okay.
There was John, Joachim, and all I knew was John for a while, but Samantha's aunt, Cynthia,
Okay.
told me the translation with John was from Joachim, and then Wilhelm, and then Ludwig Heinrich August Coin, married in the same year. The rest of them left Germany, came to the United States, and he had just married the same year.
So he stayed behind in Germany.
And he was living in Berlin at the time. He had 3 daughters who all died in 1873. Then he had another son. He had a son born in 1874, Otto Willy Coin. He born in 1874, and he died in 1953.
So
lived through 2 wars.
He lived through 2 wars. Wow.
And some of the family members, I don't know who now, used to correspond with him over in Germany.
Well, that's awesome. So that means they really kept touch with him as much as possible.
And then Anna Marie Hingst Coin, your ancestor,
Okay.
wrote back to her family in Nedbell in Germany.
Awesome. Now that's a piece of history I actually did not know. So,
her grandmother had copies of those letters.
My grandmother did?
Yes.
Oh, that is awesome.
Robert's got them now.
Uncle Robert's got them. Oh, I'll never see those damn things. I love my uncle, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know from Odell that I was talking to her earlier, and I'll post that later on, guys, because y'all will get to meet the oldest living relative of our wonderful family. But talking to Odell earlier, she was talking about the how she loved the fact that, she grew up here, and one day she was in the cemetery, and a lot of her kin are buried there. And it gave her a lot of love to know that, even though they're gone physically, they're still here, and that we can still visit family.
Mm-hmm.
And that it really touched her heart. And she told me about growing up back then and everything.
Yeah. Actually, some of my Kessler relatives are buried over here, too.
Oh, well, that is...
My grandparents and my grandmother was a Coin. Herman Coin's oldest living daughter.
Oh, that is awesome.
Lena Henrietta. And she married Joseph Carl Kessler in 1950.
That is awesome.
And then my dad was born 3 years later. And my dad used to boast. He said he was the oldest grandchild on both sides of his family, Coin and Kessler.
So that's like me, because I'm the oldest grandchild on both sides of my family, Grace and Coin. Wow. Me and your dad had a lot in common.
He was born in 1918. Melvin was the closest to him, Melvin Coin. I don't know if you remember him.
Vaguely.
And Catherine.
I don't remember.
Catherine's place is right here on Coin Street.
Oh, that is awesome. It's still on Coin Street. So, I know in past reunions, and we've been doing this, like I said, this is the 89th. And last year we missed because of COVID. And Richard here actually put a note inside the attendance thing on the... Do you have the attendance?
No.
It's over there. But will you hold this up for me real quick? Just
What?
towards the camera. Hold this. So this is the first attendance book that was really kept by... Who was it again?
Reinhard Gustav Coin.
Yes.
He went by RG.
So these attendance books, we all sign them. We put our names, we put our addresses. We really, let the families of later generations know, and it's all handwritten, know that...
That's 1935.
That we were here. And it lets other generations
And
know.
I took this information
Oh.
and added some columns
Nice.
for each one of these.
That is awesome. So
This is on
This.
the Coim group page on Facebook.
So we get to know our ancestors and actually look into it, kind of like Ancestry.com, except more personal.
And I have an extensive tree on Ancestry.
Oh, we have an extensive tree on Ancestry. Oh, hard. I'm
Under
gonna
my
have
name.
to. I'm gonna have to get me an Ancestry.com thing.
I have the full.
Yeah,
I pay for the full thing.
I'm gonna have to do that myself. So we don't have very long. The weather's kind of turning bad on us, so we're gonna finish up soon. But I remember in past things talking about how we came from. We started in Galveston when we landed, correct? We
Yes.
landed in Galveston, and then we traveled up to East Bernard, and we helped settle this town and make it actually something that was worth doing. And didn't you
Well-
say that you had a passport for one of our relatives?
Marie Catherine, the
Marie
matriarch.
Catherine. Oh, our matriarch. Now, Marie lost her husband on the way here, correct?
No.
No. When did he
Uh,
pass?
he died in a rock quarry explosion near Berlin before they left Germany.
Oh, so before she left Germany that he passed. So he came over, she came over here by herself. Her eldest boy was married already and stayed behind.
2 of her sons were married.
2 of them were married, but one stayed behind. Right?
Well, she traveled in the company of her youngest, Ferdinand Coin, and her oldest, John, or Joachim, was married and had 2 daughters. Her second son was married and had 1 son, 2 years old, my great-grandfather.
Okay.
And then the third child stayed in Germany,
Okay.
and the fourth child was single, traveled with his mother.
Well, that's awesome. So, this, and we're going to hold it up to the camera so everybody can see, is her copies of her actual passport. And one of our relatives has the original passport. She made copies so that we could have this for our documentations.
Berta Coin Fry.
And, you know, that's something that you don't get to see a lot. And it's awesome as a family that we have kept up with all this. And, you know, we all love our heritage and the history and how it was done and the love and respect and, you know, everything here. It's just, it's really unconditional love. And
Yeah.
because it takes a lot of love to do this, correct?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of unconditional love. And, you know, a lot of our bloodlines, yes, we're related, but we're all distantly related.
Now we are.
Yeah, now we are. We're all now are distantly related. So this is a bunch of almost strangers in a way that come together out of love of the family to share. And it's absolutely amazing, right? All right, my fellow people.
And when they got off the ship, they went to Washington County, Brenham, Texas first. And that's where Wilhelm and Lisette had their second child, their oldest daughter.
Wow, that is awesome.
After they moved to East Bernard, she married a widowed preacher, J.G.
Okay.
Mueller.
Cool.
And then, of course, when they lived there for a couple of years, and then they moved to Weimar, settled in a little community known as Content, Texas. It's off of County Roads 240 and 242, off of FM 155. The oldest son went a little further over into New Bela, Texas, still off FM 155, south of Weimar.
Wow. Well,
And then in about 91, 95, somewhere in there, is when they moved to East Bernard.
and we're talking 1891,
Yes.
1895, everybody.
Yes.
Not the 1900s, not
Yeah.
not 1900s, 1800s. Just
Because-
to make sure you're following along.
Because Wilhelm Coim died in 1917.
1917. So, you know, family lives forever in this family. We live a long time. Well, everybody, I hate to cut it short, but here in East Bernard, it's raining kind of bad. I mean, we can all see it. So, we're going to sign off. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification, give me a big thumbs up. And Richard, thank you so much for sharing our family history and the unconditional love we all have. Y'all, hugs and loves, and have a wonderful day.